Hosted in conjunction with Chris Media, the CEO interview series allows investors to hear directly from the CEOs leading the companies featured on Wholesale Investor. Enjoy the interview and reach out via the details in the description.
Hi and welcome to another Crisp TV Q&A. Today I'm joined by the founder of Screen Coach, Gary Boreham. Welcome back to Crisp TV, Gary.
Hey, thanks for having us, Sydney.
Excellent. So, mate, look, just to begin with, and this is for the newer audience members, do you mind setting us on a good course today with a high-level overview of Screen Coach? Tell us exactly who you are, a bit of an executive summary for those who don't know yet.
Yeah, great. Well, Screen Coach is a simple solution where kids can earn their screen time from the chores, tasks, and movement that they do around the home. The more chores and tasks they do, the more time they earn, and that time is distributed across all their devices, phones, laptops, desktops. We even manage TVs, gaming consoles as well. Of course, once that time elapses, devices get blocked, and if kids want more time, they have to make more choices.
Okay, it's obviously a very unique business we're dealing with here. So I'm going to ask you, what motivated you to start this venture? What did you see? Is it personal to you? Can you give us that founding story?
Yeah, well, the whole team are parents essentially, and if you speak to any parents, one of the biggest frustrations is the tension that happens between parents and kids around screen time. And the challenge these days is to get kids to be more active and help out around the home, and that's what really started the idea. And how we get kids to actually be incentivised and motivated, because really at the heart of Screen Coach, it's a behaviour and reward system that just uses screen time as the mechanism to drive results. So that's really what we're about, is actually helping change the dynamic in a family. And that's what we've found out with our alpha and beta trials.
It's obviously a very noble cause. Can I ask you about maybe you could give us a bit about the research behind this reward mechanism or this behavioral mechanisms that you've identified? What's it based on? Is there anything people can read about further to understand why this is a great solution for that specific problem?
Yeah, it's really interesting you should bring it up. We're actually doing some work right now with Queensland University and Professor Assad to really understand that the changes in behaviour that occur as a result of Screen Coach and the family dynamic. We also have Dr. Kim Lee, I can talk to about as well, who'll be part of our launch as well, who are really managing that child addiction to screens around the country. And really, it all started with focus groups. When we started speaking to parents, it's really interesting when you tear off the scab of what's really going on in the family homes. And we found from our focus groups that parents had two real frustrations. Yeah, it's the device merry-go-round, kids jumping off, get off the Xbox and they pick up a tablet, and get off the tablet and they pick up a phone. The other thing is, screens aren't the challenge. It's really that Groundhog Day of life that plays out in families. It's coming home and saying, whose shoes are these and whose turn is it to empty the dishwasher? This goes around and around. So we even interviewed kids, and they just don't like the fact that they've just got so many authority figures telling them what to do, and they have no voice. And, with Screen Coach, we've really looked at all the different players in the space and given them some voice and given them some agency. And that's what we've seen, such amazing changes for families.
So tell us about, last time you were here, you had some great market feedback. You had received funding in the form of grants, I believe, which is obviously a great sign that the venture alludes to success, future success with this particular venture. What are some other updates or milestones that you've achieved in the last 10 to 12 months that are worth noting for those keeping track of this company?
Yeah, great. Okay. Well, it's actually, and the best thing is we've received two grants. So a year and a half ago, when we first spoke, we'd received $330,000 from the government, and really took our product to MVP level and alpha trials. Since then, we've received another $670,000. That's $1 million from the government from the Accelerate Commercialisation Program. There's no money payback there, but they've really seen the real result in what we can do for families. And as a result of that, we're in the middle of our beta trials right now with our launch going ahead in February.
Excellent. And we'll get into that more so in a second. Now, tell me about the feedback specifically from the market. So have you had more focus groups? Have parents come back to you? Have children come back to you? Can you tell us about some specific quotes, or even if they're paraphrased, just to help us understand how users are engaging with this and what their raw direct feedback has been?
Yeah, that's probably my favourite, is seeing some of the funny comments that come back from parents. It's like, who are these kids? They're making their beds or having a shower and doing things without me asking them. And one of the key features we put in Screen Coach is a system whereby kids get earn certain time for the chores and tasks that they do, but it can be doubled or tripled if they do it without being reminded. And so in my house, for example, if my children empty the dishwasher, they get a certain amount of time. If they do it without me reminding them, they get double time. I have the point where my kids say to me, please don't empty the dishwasher in the morning, Dad, I want to do it. We have ticking time bomb tasks. So, if a child finishes a task by a certain time, then they get that time. And if they do it without being reminded double time. So we have, we're back from school holidays now and just back in school. And so if my kids are ready with their bags done by 7:45, then they get that time when they come home after school. And I can't remember the last time I ever told them to get ready. They just manage it now. In fact, that's probably one of the secrets of Screen Coach that's come from our feedback, is that they love the fact that parents don't have to manage it. The kids, they're more tech savvy than parents, and they're more interested in getting screen time and or pocket money, because we do pocket money as well. They drive Screen Coach. So it's not a burdensome task on parents to manage. And so anecdotally, we get these funny comments every now and then going, look at these kids, they're doing something without me asking them. I never thought this would happen. It's really funny to see how it plays out, and kids love it.
Absolutely. Now, I guess I'd love to understand the team behind Screen Coach. It's something we haven't spoken about yet, and who they are and what they bring to the table, and how they're going to help support the growth of this venture.
Yeah. Well, my business partner is a former client of mine. I've been consulting with businesses for a long time. And when we worked together, Peter had 2 IT companies. He built, grew and sold and exited those semi-retiring in his mid-30s. And we've been friends ever since. Our families go together on holidays, and his daughter and my daughter are great friends. But when I came up with the idea and pitched it to Peter, he just jumped at it. He and his wife, Stephanie, she's a speaker and blogger on conscious parenting. And together we've been at this now for a couple of years, and really passionate about the cause. And Pete's business mind and tech savviness has been instrumental in creating such an amazing product. Our teams obviously these days spans across the world, but to come on board to the Screen Coach team, you have to go through a pretty grueling Peter Kakris IT assessment. So we've got an amazing range of people who are there. And we've got people who've been involved with different solutions in this space over the last 3 years, building some of the biggest solutions out there. So that's from a tech side of things. I mentioned Dr. Assad as well from Queensland University, helping from a research point of view and helping us with our beta trials. But Dr. Kim Lee from Sydney, from South Australia, he's passionate about kids and gaming addiction, and really part of our team. And that's what we really, if I can say anything about our team, everyone's passionate about it. We're parents. We know what the day-to-day struggles are. And, we're guilty as charged. We're not perfect either. We all know that some days we're good and some days we're not. It just, Screen Coach helps bring that gap together. Or the way I describe it is we kind of take this us versus them technology and parents and kids and sort of just turn it on its ear so that actually parents and children can dialogue about the challenges together and resolve them as a family. We're just giving them the tool.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that there's a strong why behind the business, which is always a good sign. And I guess as a parting question, Gary, the beta launch, you touched on it earlier, and I've seen a press release recently around that. So obviously there's a lot of news surrounding this beta launch, and it's obviously an important milestone for the business. So can you give us the highlights, who's involved, and how many are waiting on the other side of the launch to start the proper usage of this application? What can we expect?
Yeah, so we have, so on the 21st of February, we actually go to our database of people who we've accumulated over the last couple of years. And from a couple of press releases we did in the middle of last year, we have 4,500 people we're going to open Screen Coach to on the 21st of February and start to, turn on the revenue taps for us. So that's pretty exciting. The teams are looking forward to that. That is the beta style release. We'll be sort of trickling that out and making sure that everything's working. Obviously our beta trials have been going now for the last 3 months, and we're certainly very confident on how the solution works outside of our test environments. That all heads towards our go live, which is on the 30th of March. So it's less than 60 days. The team's really excited about what's going to happen. As I keep reminding them, this is we're about to go into the marathon after the sprint, so we're pretty pumped.
Well, congratulations on everything to date, Gary. It's been wonderful to watch your journey so far. You've been with us for nearly a year now, and you're kicking goals, and I think everybody's seeing that. To you and the team, And we wish you the best of luck with this venture in the near term. And for anyone who is interested in reaching out to someone from the team, we will have the details on the side of the screen to contact a representative, and obviously visit the deal room for Screen Coach as well. Thank you again for joining us, Gary.
Thanks, Sydney. Thanks, the team. Jackie and Rhythm as well have been fantastic. And great opportunity to invest in Screen Coach. With a small little bit of our race to go. So look forward to seeing you come on board. Thanks, mate.
Perfect. Thanks, Gary.